am a Healy, so welcome to my talk show. Honor be to God. Vivid View.
Say and do it.
Life is too long not to do it well. Say something, somebody.
My name is Peace. Life is too long not to do it well. In my own view, there is a popular saying that goes this way: you only live once, hence you should not just exist but try to make an impact. Thank you.
My name is Ogenesume. Life is too long not to do it well. What I understand by this is that whatever is worth doing is worth doing well. So you should give your best in everything you do, since you only have one life to live. Thank you.
My name is Energite. From my view, life is too long not to do it well. Whatever you find yourself doing, always bring out the best. Thank you.
My name is Grace. Life is too long not to do it well. Simply means do things the right way, because time waits for no one. Thank you.
My name is Olafemi Emmanuel. Life is too long not to do it well. There's more opportunities for us to utilize as long as we do the right thing. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that beautiful contribution on that teaser. Life is too long or life is too short not to do it well. Either ways, the key thing here is that procrastination is a thief of time. Whatever you find your hand to do, even Bible says so, do it well. Don't worry, I will do it tomorrow. No, tomorrow I will come and do it. No, do it at that right time. Is it you want to acquire education? Face your education. When you have a job, face it. You have your personal plan. Just work with it. Like I always say, plan your work and work your plan. Work without your plan. Don't entertain any form of delay. And when you do this, you're not only going to help yourself, you also help your future. Because if you delay and you finally die, that's why they say some people are buried with their talents and their gifts. Because they were delaying. They were having excuses here and there. But I advise you today, as a young man, as a young lady, do not entertain excuses. Do whatever you find yourself to do that is right and that aligns with the law of the land. Do that, and then God will help you in the other part. Now, having said this, we'll go straight to the business of today. Notably, out of carelessness and hastiness, some people are not mindful of what they eat and drink. Apparently, food poisoning and prevention is the topic for today's discussion. It is time for a break, and on return, the guests will introduce. We will be right back. Vivid View, say and do it.
If you do not have a goal or you do not know your destination, you will end anywhere.
You know when somebody will hire you to go and kill his or her own enemy that is not yours, the right thing to do is say no to that.
The youth must ask yourself the question, what skill do I need to acquire to get money?
When you kill everybody, what will remain in the mosque? What will remain in the church?
Always change your password at least every month.
All conflicts are resolvable. Join us every Sunday on Vivid View with the Healers.
Welcome back. In case you're just joining us, the topic is food poisoning and preventions. And with me in the studio is a medical personnel. Let's make welcome Dr. Omirinde Adewale.
Vivid View.
Say and do it. Before discussion proper, please follow us on our social media handles as displayed on the screen. You're welcome once again. Please, may we just have a definition and perspective on the subject matter?
When you talk about food poisoning,
Yes.
it is any illness that results from eating or consuming contaminated food or drink. And so the contamination now can come from different points. It could be as a result of a bacterial contamination, a viral contamination, a parasitic contamination, or even a chemical contamination. Either ways, once you consume a contaminated food or drink, it is regarded as food poisoning. And it's a subset of the bigger term that we call foodborne disease. Foodborne diseases or foodborne illness.
Okay.
It's just a subset of it. Looking at the fact that I said it can be from bacterial infection, it can be viral, it can be chemical contamination. Now, to talk about food poisoning in the first place, we need to even look at the food chain. The contamination of our food starts from the first thing, which is the farming, the agricultural rearing of cultivation of crops and rearing of animals. That's actually where the poisoning starts from. For example, you are cultivating.
Not only from where they are preparing the food.
No, that's not where it starts from. It starts from the very farm. So I said, for example, you are rearing a farm, you are rearing an animal and all of those things. Now you want to give those things, things that we give to those things like antibiotics, like hormones, just to boost them up and all of that. All of those things are going to become resident in the meat that you are going to eat. That will be a source of food poison. Are you seeing it? Now, if you look at the crop itself, you want to add pesticides. Many times, farmers use excessive pesticides that contains a lot of organophosphates and things that are toxic to the body. Some other times, they use pesticides that are even not what they are supposed to use, maybe because of ignorance. All of these things are going to stay on maybe the vegetable that you are going to eat at the end of the day. So the irrigation that is entering into the farm can be contaminated. Now, industrial waste can get into our waters. Most of this industrial waste will contain a lot of mercuries and a lot of chemicals. They will get into our waters, and then the water will now be what you are using, for the irrigation of the farm. That's how poison is being introduced into the food chain. It starts from there. Even the fishes in the river are taking in contaminated, pollutants from industrial waste. And so you are taking in fishes that are already, having a lot of heavy metals in them. So that's where it starts, from the farm. So let's say, okay, so you are done, you've harvested, even at the next stage, which is harvesting and slaughtering of the animals, a lot of pollution also happen at that point. For example, many of our animals have bacteria inside of their guts. So in the process of cutting those things, if you don't do the slaughtering well, you end up introducing gut bacteria into the meat itself. Are you seeing it?
Unknowingly.
Of course. So all of these things are how food poisoning starts. It's not just when you get to your table.
Prepare, yes.
It starts from at that level. When you are done cutting, how do you even transport it? That's also another problem. That's also another way food poisoning happens. Many times, you see people use trunk that have been used to carry fuel, to carry our food substances. They put all of these food substances into maybe paint buckets. These are chemicals that are going to be introduced into our food and are going to cause food poisoning at the end of the day. So that's transportation. Even in the process of retailership, the people that are going to sell it to the end consumers, what are they using to sell? You see someone that is using a hold plastic to sell maybe granite. You see? That's already a source of contamination for the granite that you want to eat. So all of these things, all of these different processes.
Even newspaper to wrap
Exactly.
You don't even know where
You
they
don't
keep
even know
those
where the paper
newspapers.
is coming from. You know,
Now
you
God help
yours-
me there. Oh, now God
you
they save us.
yourself, you are getting the food, you are putting it in a plastic plate,
Container or plate.
plastic container. That's also a source of contamination, because for plastics to be soft, to be bendable, there are some things that they put in the plastics to help you to be able to use it. Sachet waters, the sachets that they're using, there are some things that they put in it that, helps to be able to make them use it like that. So when you are using all of those things, so watch what happened. So they've put it in a plastic, or they've put it in a sachet, and then they are moving maybe a long distance inside sun. What begins to happen? It begins to diffuse inside the food, inside the water, and you are going to drink. So these are all different sources or different points of contamination of that food. And by the time it now gets to you yourself, what are you doing? Your hands are unclean. Maybe the person that is handling the food is even having maybe a skin infection at that time, or maybe an upper respiratory tract infection. He has just coughed. The same hand, you have used it to carry food. Every time you cough like that, thousands and millions of bacteria are released. So you have used it, maybe you use your hand. That's why we tell people to use this place to cough and not just, like this. So you have used that hand, maybe you even use it to rub your body, and then you continue. You have introduced bacteria and germs into the food that you want to eat. You see that at different level of the food chain, there are different points of contamination, different points of poisoning, such that we cannot begin to group food poisoning into bacterial causes, all right, into chemical causes. Chemical causes, like I said earlier, might be purposeful, might be deliberate, like when they add pesticides to food, or can just be maybe unintentional, like people that are using plastic plates to carry food. Is unintentional. They didn't know that they were trying to do that, and then they are causing trouble. Even at the level of preservation, you see people use things like formalin,
sniper,
exactly,
sniper, whatever call it,
to preserve food. All of these things are the ways that we introduce poison into our food, and we ourselves now begin to our food have gone through all these kind of processes, and then what are we now doing? We are not cooking the food well, and so that becomes a real problem, because imagine the food that is already going through, that has already had a lot of problems. Now you are not cooking it well. You have cooked it, but you left it alone, such that you didn't preserve it. Maybe you are not using a refrigerator for it to preserve it. That's already a problem. Or you reheated it, and all of these things that we do are just ways by which food poisoning happen. And what happen many times is, for you to preserve a food from bacterial infection like that, it must be preserved at below 4 degrees centigrade or above 63 degrees centigrade. If you are not going to be able to achieve that, just leaving food alone, maybe on the pot, you have finished, maybe there's no light, you just leave it inside the pot at that temperature, you're only allowing rapid proliferation of bacteria. Now, it's food poisoning, especially when you look at bacterial causes, because these bacteria alone, they also produce what we call toxins. They produce toxins. Some of the bacteria are spore producing. They are called spore formers, which means even if the bacteria is not in the food, they already have something in the food that is going to cause problem. So you are not just dealing with the bacteria, you're also dealing with other things that have been released by the bacteria that's going to cause problem. And all of these things are responsible for this illness called food poisoning.
So what are the signs and symptoms someone should never ignore after eating suspicious food?
So when we look at the signs and symptoms, so all of this has been taken in. The very thing that you will notice will be a sudden vomiting, sudden nausea and vomiting, or sudden passage of loose stool. And then you also notice what? Abdominal cramps, abdominal pain. All of these things are the different signs that different symptoms rather, that you see 1 to 6 hours many times after taking those kind of food, or maybe stretch to sometimes after between 24 hours, you start realizing that, the person start having all of these symptoms. When you see things like that happen with or without fever, you know that you've taken in some poison, and all your body is trying to do with all of those symptoms is to release
those
those
poisons.
things.
God, thank you for saving us. Oh. Because with everybody now, we just eat blindly, like I said earlier. We're very in the haste. We don't even prepare the food well. We don't even care. Even the environment where the food is even prepared,
Yes.
all of them contaminates the food.
Yes.
But thanks be to God for helping us. Because almost everybody in the world, not only Nigeria, will have this, will experience this poisoning. But God has been so faithful. We'll take a break now, and then we'll continue. Vivid view, say and do it. Welcome back. We are still discussing food poisoning and preventions. Then, which foods or food practices are most commonly linked to food poisoning in our country, home, and events?
All right. So I've said it. Number one, eating not well prepared food. And you can understand that there are some food that don't take time before they get. For example, our eggs. How long does it take before it gets
About
done?
5 minutes.
When you are boiling maybe beef and all of that, it doesn't take time sometimes before it's it cooks. So eating not well cooked food is one of the practices that cause that. Eating leftover food is another practice that leads to
leftover food you put in the fridge, or the one you just leave on table like that?
The one you just leave on the table.
Okay.
Maybe because
if
there's no light, where is the fridge that you even want to put it? Exactly. So many times you find that a majority of people just leave it in the pot and all of that. So those kind of leftover food are a problem. Sometimes people warm their food.
Don't heat it well. They don't even warm it properly.
You know what they do? They warm the food. Some part is already warm, some part is not warm. So they mix everything together and they eat.
Oh.
So everything is warm in their eyes, but you have only made room for food poisoning.
Oh.
You see. So what you are supposed to do is warm everything. After you have mixed everything like that, still put it back to allow them to warm again. So this is one of the things. People eat unpasteurized milk. Is it wara? We call it, unpasteurized because it's directly taken from the cow or from the animal, and then it's been taken like that. These are not good practices, and these are practices that predisposes us to food poisoning generally.
I'm sure that we are really making sense with this discussion, so that we will know. Because there are many times, the one I saw in the social media some time ago is a woman that she always have this come and eat this eatery. She cooks and brings to where they have construction company. I know how many of you saw it social media last year. And then she does that on a daily basis. But this particular day, she just came. The first 4 that ate the food died instantly. So also how they showed them. And the woman collapsed. I didn't follow the story to know how far it ended. Whether it was somebody that really dropped poison in the food where she was not there, or that what you are saying now could be one of the causes. Yes. I also know that one of my cousins, if you watch the video, you will know. His friend visited him, about 4 of them. Then he just took them to suya joint. Yes. And he paid, put this. The Hausa man cut and put and tied, and they got home and eat. He opened it, everybody, as he pick, this one pick. Himself that is the host, picked just 2 instant. He didn't even wait up to 24 hours. They're talking now. Yes. To the toilet. Before you know, this boy knew where he was the next day. He was almost lost. They now rushed him. And I was saying, he now said, when he was telling me the story, he said, if I was not the one that bought this suya for myself, I would have thought something else, somebody bought. But the doctor said that those 2 he picked has already been contaminated. He didn't know that someone just cut all, for him. And so he now, to some extent, he was happy that he's the one that felt it, not his visitors or his guests. Yes. So it can really happen anyhow. It can happen. So this food poisoning we're talking about is just God, but we also need to do something to reduce it, and that being careful.
Suya is an undercooked food. it's an undercooked food. I've had such an
Yes.
experience. I'm always afraid to buy. I hardly buy suya.
Mm-hmm.
The last time I bought it, I just, okay, let me buy this thing. Thank God, because when I came in, there was no light. So I wanted to start it. I just, because of the fear of food poisoning, I just to let me even check this thing. So I had to go and bring light to even see. Lo and behold, I saw a caterpillar in that suya. I'm telling you. So we've got to be careful of undercooked food. Food that has been left for a long time, we'll keep it and all of those things. It's really a
Okay.
great.
Welcome back. We are still discussing food poisoning and preventions. So, what are the implications using chemicals like snipper and formalin to preserve food?
See,
Their mind is to preserve it,
if you
or
find,
to even make unripe plantain to ripe by force, mango to ripe by force, because they put on some of these things.
if you
Is it
find,
carbon, whatever they call it, carbad.
I want to be angry.
Hey!
If you find someone using sniper, report to the whole world.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
When you take formalin, is what they used to preserve dead people in the morgue.
Oh.
When you take someone to the morgue, even if the person was not dead before, if you put formalin to the person
will die
is
well.
gone.
You will not die well.
You understand? So now imagine that person now using the food we want to eat, putting formalin inside to preserve it. Even as of 2019, I think NAFDAC actually banned the use of sniper in use for all of these things. So when you find any person preserving food like that, you have to make everybody know. You have to, make alert.
Yes,
you have to
raise alarm.
It's not raise an alarm. It's not something that you just take casually. Because all of these things they causes long-term implication. They cause liver damage that can be unrepairable, irreversible. They causes end-stage kidney failure. That's how bad they can be. So you don't want to even play with it, apart from the fact that dehydration itself that comes from food poisoning, severe dehydration can lead to shock and death. So it's not something you want to play with. So
all right, what do you now advise one can use to preserve this food, for instance? Since this one mentioned is very, very deadly.
There are chemicals that have been approved by NAFDAC for preservation. So all we need to do is to ensure that our food handlers, our farmers are well enlightened on what to use. You understand? That's all we need to do.